आज का भारत सिर्फ आगे नहीं बढ़ रहा, भारत खुद को नेक्स्ट लेवल पर ले जा रहा है।
Together with my friend Prime Minister Modi, who I was pleased to see again last night, we took on our bilateral relationship and raised it to its highest level ever.
We need new answers. That's why we are coming to India.
And as a citizen of Nepal, India's closest neighbor, I feel a deep sense of pride and optimism.
Hello and welcome. I'm Rashan Gidwani and you're watching the Newsroom. Let's take a look at the top headlines for this hour. Pakistan Foreign Minister meets Senator Rubio in Washington to formally discuss rising regional tensions. Both leaders focus closely on Iranian influence and potential security threats affecting stability. Israeli forces officially crossed the Litani River en route to new operations in Lebanon territory. This unexpected move directly contradicts previous military assurances issued by top officials. The UN formally blacklists Israel following several severe reports regarding systemic sexual abuse. The accusations involve multiple recent complaints spanning various factions in regional conflicts. The United States government implements fresh economic sanctions targeting illicit Iranian oil sales worldwide. This aggressive financial move directly targets and disrupts the revenue stream utilized to fund the Iranian military machine. The United States faces unprecedented economic strain as inflation rates surge to historically high levels. Consumers grapple with the rapidly rising costs of essential goods and services across the nation. The United States Treasury Secretary officially confirms developing discussions for a new specially designed currency note. The high denomination bill features the distinctive portrait of Donald Trump as a tribute to his policies. The ongoing military conflict escalates dramatically as multiple Russian drones strike sovereign Romanian territory. Regional tensions mount rapidly while NATO officials intensify their monitoring of the situation. Global energy markets face extreme uncertainty as crude oil prices fluctuate rapidly within short trading windows. Commodity traders react swiftly to emerging geopolitical headwinds and unpredictable supply shifts across the Middle East. And now for our first story, we have some news with regards to Trump and the Iranian deal. Iranian state-linked media is pushing back strongly against claims made by U.S. President Donald Trump regarding a possible agreement between Washington and Tehran. Iran's Fars news agency, citing informed sources, said Trump's remarks were a mixture of truth and falsehood and accused the U.S. president of attempting to portray what it called a fabricated victory. The report also rejected Trump's claim that any memorandum of understanding included provisions to destroy Iran's nuclear materials, calling the allegation fundamentally baseless. According to Fars, the proposed agreement is still in the final stages of ratification inside Iran and no final decision has yet been taken. The agency further reported that Tehran intends to reopen the Strait of Hormuz under its own predetermined arrangements once the U.S. blockade is lifted. Those measures could include ship inspections, monitoring operations, maritime services, and additional security procedures. This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump says he is making a final decision on whether to move ahead with a potential peace agreement involving Iran amid ongoing tensions over nuclear issues and Gulf shipping security. Now, joining us live to tell us more is Raksha Avadani, joining us live from NewsX World. Raksha, what more can you tell us? Do you believe that a deal will essentially go through, or it will still be essentially up to Iran as long as they stand strong on their stance? Tell us more.
Roshan, there have been rapid updates coming in from the war in West Asia that is happening right now. I mean, there have been updates coming in from the USA side, there have been updates coming in from the Iran side. We'll go to all of them one by one. Firstly, as you mentioned in your question itself, will a deal go through? I mean, that is the exact question a lot of people are having around the world, that because there have been multiple reports. In fact, the Vice President of USA, J.D. Vance, also gave out a statement saying that a deal is almost there but not there yet. That is what most of the US said, and in fact even Iran is saying the same thing. We have almost reached the deal but not yet completely. So there have been negotiations going on from both of the parties as of now, but there have been no official statements coming in from either of the sides saying that we have finally reached the negotiation deal, we have finally signed the agreement between Iran and the USA with regards to the war that is happening right now. Wherein US President Donald Trump did come out with a very long Truth Social post just like an hour before, wherein he mentioned a couple of things which are of grave importance. Firstly, he mentioned that he would be in the Situation Room today to discuss the situation, to discuss the upcoming updates, to discuss the upcoming negotiation with Iran right now in the White House, wherein he would be meeting with his security team to discuss the next procedure that is about to happen and what are the things that would be included in the MOU. He also mentioned that negotiations have reached the final stage, and this has been coming in, as I mentioned before, this has been coming in since some time from both of the sides. And also in his Truth Social post, he again reiterated since the beginning whatever he said, he has reiterated again that Iran cannot possess a nuclear weapon. He also did mention about Strait of Hormuz and how Iran cannot collect any tolls in the Strait of Hormuz from ships that are passing through the strait. He also mentioned very clearly and gave a lot of importance that he would be in collaboration with the IAEA and the Republic of Iran. He would be unearthing the enriched uranium with coordination with Iran, of course, and he's very specific on that to de-earth the enriched uranium from Iran. He also mentioned that the naval blockade that was in place in the Strait of Hormuz by the US Navy would be lifted now. So now we need to understand that all of this came in from his Truth Social post. Now, what are the main things that we should be focusing on? So, USA is not the one only speaking on these negotiation terms. Even Iran has come up with many statements. There have been many statements coming in from the negotiation team. The Speaker of the Iranian Parliament as well, he did put a post on X. The Iranian Speaker Ghalibaf did mention that a very cryptic post, a post that is a little opposite to the negotiation efforts that are happening. He did mention in his X post that this negotiation would not be happening by dialogues but missiles. This is what the Iranian side is saying. But nonetheless, there have been reports, many reports, positive reports coming in from the Iranian media as well, that even Iran is considering reaching the deal as soon as possible, and there would be conditions from the Iran side as well on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. They did mention a couple of restrictions on the Strait of how to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, whether, like for example, they would be monitoring the transportation or whatever the ships go through from the strait, they would be monitoring it. And also they did mention a few of the things that a very important thing that Iran side, the Iranian media reported that very important thing that should be included in the ceasefire between both of the countries is including a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon as well. So these are the things that would be most probably be included in the MOU as well. And another important thing that is being reported is that Iran has been asking for an immediate payment of almost $12 billion from Iran's frozen assets to be included in the Memorandum of Understanding as well. So this is a major update that we should be looking forward to. And while all of this is happening, while both of the sides have been giving out statements, there are multiple reports coming in on what will be included in the MOU. Will Iran accept it, or whatever Iran is saying, will USA accept it? There have been multiple bilateral meetings, bilateral negotiations happening right now. For example, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar is in Washington right now. He is also speaking to the USA Secretary of State Marco Rubio with regards to Iran itself. And then there is one more negotiation talks happening in Washington right now, will be happening today, is on Lebanon as well, because there would be Lebanon peace talks, ceasefire talks between Israel and Lebanon also happening in Washington today. So too many updates, too many developments happening with regards to the West Asian war. So we need to wait and watch how many more days, because we have been seeing both of the countries have been coming up and saying we are almost there at the deal, we are almost there. But nobody has come out and said that we have signed the deal, we have finally reached the deal, not yet. So we do have to wait and watch how many more days will it take for both of the countries to, or will it be today, is something we should be looking forward to, because Trump is in a meeting right now. So we would be waiting for any more updates coming in from the USA as well. Back to you, Roshan.
Right. Thanks for those updates, Raksha. Please stay with us. We'll be right back with you. Next up, we have some news with regards to a Romanian drone incursion. Russian President Vladimir Putin says he has just heard about reports of a drone entering Romanian territory, adding that no one can yet confirm the drone's origin. Putin said Ukrainian drones had previously flown into Poland and the Baltic states, suggesting this could be a similar case. He also called for Romania to hand over the drone debris to Russia for analysis. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova later dismissed all accusations against Moscow as groundless. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney condemned what he called a reckless Russian drone incursion into Romania's Galati region, saying the incident injured 2 people and represented a serious violation of NATO airspace and international law. Now joining us once more is Raksha Avadani, joining us live from NewsX World. Raksha, what's your take on essentially Vladimir Putin stating that this drone needs to be analyzed further, in the sense that even though it was an essential accident, this is still a violation of war, in the sense that these drones are affecting the livelihoods of not only Ukrainians but now Romanians as well. Tell us more.
Absolutely, Roshan, what you mentioned is absolutely right, because the war that is happening between Russia and Ukraine is no longer only between Russia and Ukraine, because it is essentially spilling over to the neighboring countries as well. Because today we saw a drone has hit a residential building in Romania, and few days back we also saw another drone had entered the Poland airspace as well. So it is no longer restricted to only Russia, Ukraine. As of now, it is being affected to the neighboring states as well. So today what happened essentially is a alleged Russian drone has hit an apartment in Romania, which has injured almost 2 people there. So there was an immediate emergency meeting from the Romanian government, wherein the country's Supreme Council of National Defense leaders had convened together to discuss what exactly happened and how did the drone attack actually happen. And also there have been multiple reports coming, there have been multiple people, multiple leaders, countries condemning this act of drone attack on a residential area in a country that is not involved in the war itself. So also the Russian ambassador in Romania was summoned due to this, to question what exactly happened, if the Russia was involved behind this act. And also, while the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte also condemned this act completely, and he did mention that this is a reckless behavior from the part of Russia, that their drone is coming on a neighboring country which is not involved in the war, and especially on a residential area. which has injured a European citizen as well. So they have been condemning this act completely, wherein Russia has also come up with their statements as well, wherein very interestingly Russia's foreign minister has said that Russia has come out with a statement and said that this is going to continue to happen. I mean, Russia has come out and said this statement that whatever is happening right now with regards to the war between Russia and Ukraine and the drones or any missiles going towards other countries is going to happen, is going to continue in the future as well, because he blamed European countries of supporting Ukraine in this war. He also blamed Europe of supporting Ukraine with intelligence, with missiles, with money as well, and he directly said that you have been involved in the war indirectly. So this will happen, this will continue to happen as well. So this, while we also understand this is what the Russian side has said, but Russian President Vladimir Putin has given out statement very recently, a few hours back, that he did say that there has to be a proper investigation into this. He did say that I am just learning about this incident of a drone attack, a drone entering Romania and an attack on the residential building, and he said that they would be doing a proper investigation and understanding from the debris of the drone whether it belonged to Russia or not. So as of now, Russia has not taken any responsibility that drone belonged to Russia or not. But all over the world, many countries, especially the European countries and NATO, have accused Russia of doing this. They have condemned this act completely, and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte also said that they are ready to defend every inch of the European Council, of the European countries, and there have been multiple leaders like European Commission's President Ursula von der Leyen coming in and condemning this attack, and in fact even President of European Council Antonio Costa also coming in support of Romania. And there we also learned that the President of Ukraine, Zelensky, also saying that he would be pressuring the US to provide additional Patriot air defense missiles with regards to continuing fighting or continuing self-defense from Russia's drone or missile attacks in the future. So this is what has happened with regards to Russia-Ukraine war. It's been almost more than 4 years of continued war, continued attacks from both of the countries.
Right. Thank you so much for your time, Raksha. Please stay with us. And of course, we will speak with you at a later time. Now, we have some breaking news coming in with regards to Vladimir Putin. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow remains ready to continue negotiations on Ukraine while insisting Russian forces are steadily advancing on the battlefield. Speaking on the conflict, Putin said Russia has the right to strike locations it considers threats to national security, adding that all such targets are legitimate under Moscow's military objectives. At the same time, he rejected accusations that Russia is preparing for a broader war with Europe, calling such claims lies spread by opponents. Putin also argued that the situation in Ukraine is gradually moving toward a conclusion, although he declined to provide any specific timeline. He stressed that his assessment was based on battlefield analysis and the continued progress of Russian forces. Next up, we have some news with regards to the latest Ebola virus. Now, the World Health Organization says it expects more patients to recover from the ongoing Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo after the first confirmed survivor was discharged from treatment. The patient was released after returning 2 consecutive negative test results, marking the first full recovery recorded at an Ebola treatment center during the current outbreak. Early diagnosis and timely medical care proved critical in improving survival rates, even as health authorities continue battling the deadly Bundibugyo strain of the virus, for which there is currently no approved vaccine or treatment. The WHO says previous outbreaks involving the same strain recorded mortality rates between 30 and 50%, but the current outbreak appears to be showing comparatively lower fatality fatality levels. As of Thursday, Congo had reported 125 confirmed Ebola cases and 17 deaths across Ituri, North Kivu, and South Kivu provinces. More than 900 suspected cases remain under investigation. Let's listen in to the WHO technical officer on viral hemorrhagic fevers.
What is important about this patient is that he's the first one who was admitted to a care center, who was discharged following 2 negative tests. I would say, unfortunately, of the person for which the lab results have not been received yet, probably some of them also recovered. And that's why we need this investigation to be concluded, to have the case classification to be concluded so that we can tell you. But yes, we are expecting more people to recover.
And now joining us live to tell us more is Asuma Kataoka, correspondent from NewsX World. Asuma, when it comes down to the Ebola virus, essentially just a week ago, it was labeled a global emergency. And now, of course, with the first patient that has been discharged, it essentially seems like these measures that were once put in place, as far as $60 million that have been sent to the Congo, are now not as severe. Tell us more about this developing situation.
Yes, like we have highlighted, this news is overall a sigh of relief. The very first patient who had Ebola, who is being discharged now, she has also mentioned in an interview that she thinks there are other cases who are still awaiting their results, but she thinks that other patients who were with her could be negative now as well. Now, like you mentioned, Roshan, this patient has undergone 2 tests, both came in negative, and now this person has been discharged. Now, this Ebola is, of course, like we were tracking in NewsX World, it is a very rare strain. This particular one is called the Bundibugyo strain, and it has no effective vaccine as of now. However, we know that WHO chief Ghebreyesus is in DRC now. His visit started yesterday, Thursday in local time, and he has been there seeking coordination with local officials as well as African Union delegations and local health ministers, as well as communications ministers as well. So the situation is well coordinated, and all of these delegations are, of course, they are well experienced as well, and this Ebola outbreak, the latest one, is not the very first, and it's been the 17th one. Today in NewsX World, we did talk to officials who have been there and who were working with WHO, and that person said, and I quote, that every time there has been an outbreak, they have learned something new. That means 17 times they're closer to vaccine / effective solution for every outbreak. So things are going towards a positive side, and I must also share this news that Bundibugyo strain, although for now there has been no proven effective vaccine. However, WHO as well as some countries have already said that there have been some hope about the fact that there could be an effective vaccine towards the end of this year, which is, of course, 2026. We might be seeing an effective vaccine by the end of this year. And also something to highlight is that there has been 2 vaccine companies, pharmaceutical companies, who have already given an approval to research and start this process towards effective vaccine. On to you, Roshan.
Yes, please stay with us, Suma. We'll be right back with you. Next up, we have some news with regards to Europe and the heat wave that is currently happening there. Europe is grappling with an intense early season heat wave as record temperatures sweep across the continent. Britain has recorded its hottest May day on record, with temperatures crossing 34 degrees Celsius, while France has reported several heat-related deaths amid soaring conditions. regions. Italy is also facing power blackouts in Turin as electricity grids come under pressure from rising cooling demand. Authorities across Western Europe have issued health warnings, opened cooling centers, and urged people to limit outdoor activity. Forecasters say a heat dome of hot air from North Africa is driving temperatures far above seasonal normals. Climate experts warn extreme heat events are becoming more frequent and more intense across Europe. Joining us once more to tell us more about this is Asuma Kataoka, correspondent from NewsX World. Asuma, there have been some deaths related to this heat wave across Europe as well. What more can you tell us regarding this?
So far, media reports have shown that this year, because of these heat waves, there has been so far, with the reports that I saw, there have been 7 deaths in European continent that are now connected to this heat wave that they are experiencing. This particular heat wave, they're calling it spring heat wave because it's still technically spring over there, and unlike in New Delhi where we are, it's of course I feel like it is already summer. However, in Europe that's not the case, and for UK where they recorded the highest average temperature for 24 hours in May. And it wasn't just UK, but many countries across Europe have now recorded hottest May day in decades. Now, UK did record this hottest May day for 24 hours, and that included the fact that their temperature did not go below 20 degrees Celsius throughout the night. And of course, the people there are not used to this kind of heat, and also a lot of communities whose houses are not built with ACs, unlike in New Delhi. So they have been, the community centers have been opening up so that local people can come in and sleep there, like libraries have been opened up, university and colleges and schools with air conditions have opened up as public spaces so that people can come in and rest there. And yes, there have been 7 deaths so far from the latest reports that I saw, and it could be more, but yes, so far that's what I've seen. And there have been so many record-breaking, so France has recorded, half of France, 50% of France has recorded highest temperatures in May so far, which is huge. And last year we saw record-breaking forest fires across Europe, including Turkey, and that weakens some analysts, especially environmental specialists and environmentalists, they are calling that this spring heat wave can be taken as an earlier warning to the summer that is supposed to come now soon. So it's very likely that this year's summer is going to be extremely hot like last summer, and it might be hotter even than last summer, as it's already we are already experiencing, people especially in Europe are already experiencing hotter spring than last year. On to you.
Right. Thank you very much, Asuma. Much appreciated. Now, that's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates from around the world.